Good evening. This is San Francisco Weekly News. My name is Diane Wesley Smith. Thank you for joining us. As many of you know, I'm a San Francisco native. I grew up in the housing projects of Hunters Point, later in the Bayview. Been in San Francisco over 60 years. I'm a housing advocate. I'm a licensed real estate broker only because I began to see the challenges and the disparity. That means the unfair or unlevel playing field when it came to housing, jobs, and economic development for those that were already here and those that were coming to San Francisco seeking a new home, a new opportunity. I've seen quite a bit, but one thing that I cannot overlook is the deterioration of the representation of all people of San Francisco. We've been promised this many, many times. And unless someone knew how to get out, those of us that were able to get out, navigate the system, speak loudly, amplify the voices of those who were disadvantaged and underserved, one's needs were not met, particularly in the areas of housing and employment. The basic components of dignity, of human dignity. So the reason I'm here today is we are going to give you the San Francisco Weekly News voting recommendations for the next election, which is June 5th, 2018. So let's get started. The best candidates for San Francisco locally and California statewide are. But before I tell you who we recommend, please take a moment and get something to take notes with if you care to capture any information that you may find important. What we have done is taken the voting information available and scrubbed it, and we feel we have a concise form. And I sit here now with our recommendations. After thoroughly investigating and researching, no money has swayed our opinion in any way. Our recommendations are based on the public good. It's based on our desire for a future for our youth. It's based on our desire that young people have an opportunity to purchase homes, especially even secure housing. It's based on our desire to end homelessness. It's based on our desire that families are able to stay in San Francisco. It's based on our desire for fairness and equality and the courage that it takes to make that happen in San Francisco. So without further ado, we join Kamala Harris and many others in the Women for Mark Leno in endorsing our mayor. I'll call him mayor. Oh, that's Freudian. And endorsing Mark Leno for mayor of San Francisco. We're endorsing Mark because we need to break the status quo. We have a lot of changes that San Francisco has a lot of changes ahead. We need someone that will not carry on with the status quo. The status quo has given San Francisco a black eye. And what do I mean by that? Is look around and look at the deterioration. If you've been here for any period of time, you know that more blacks have left San Francisco than ever. We're talking about blacks that were homeowners. Okay? We're talking about blacks that work. And people of other colors and actually other people, period. You know, I can't afford to even discuss in terms of color now, because it's real clear, and we're going to thank President Trump for the fact that it's real clear to us that it's not about color, it's about money. And it's not funny at all. What has happened in San Francisco has been because the love is left and the money came, and the money became the new God. We support Mark Leno because we need a mayor who is independent, that can think for himself, that is not connected to the WB machine, and thus not giving us, that will not deliver to us the status quo. Now, we're going to vote for Mark Leno. I suggest you do the same if and only if you want change. Our second recommendation with this ranked choice voting, Mark Leno we vote for is our number one. And number 2 is Angela Alioto. Angela Alioto is running for mayor out of the love in her heart for San Franciscans. As a native San Franciscan, that I truly embrace, because she cares. She also is not driven by money or political connections. We remember very fondly when her dad, Joseph Alioto, was our mayor, Mayor Joseph Alioto. And one of the things that we liked about Joseph Alioto is that everyone had a slice. Under the WB machine, only certain people get to benefit. Only certain people get to thrive, while others fall by the wayside. Again, if you don't know how to advocate for yourself, voting is extremely important, because we need to elect people that will ensure that we have the quality of life that we want, that San Francisco is headed in the direction that we want to see San Francisco go in. And a large part of that direction is open opportunity for everyone, not empty promises. We want demonstrated results. We have people that have been in office, people that have been serving for some time. Why now are they just promising what they're going to do? When one is committed, they do it whether they are paid or not. And Angela Alioto is a perfect example of that. Mark Leno, perfect example of that without a doubt. I'd be proud to have Mark Leno as our mayor, or we'd be proud to have Angela Alioto as our mayor. Now on to governor. We need a governor that has no ethical issues. We need the ability to trust our governor. We need the ability to trust our elected officials. And with that in mind, we recommend San Francisco Weekly News. We recommend John Chang. His biggest splash for the office of governor of California. His biggest splash is that he docked state legislators' pay for not delivering a budget on time. Wow. Who does that? Isn't that how it should be? If we don't deliver our jobs on time, do we get paid? Should we expect to get paid? So why should legislators expect to get paid when they pass their deadlines, when they don't meet their obligation? The bad news, or the sad news about John Chang is that his sister Joyce, a government lawyer, was murdered in Washington in 1999. Some say, why isn't San Francisco Weekly News recommending Gavin Newsom? Well, we love Gavin, but let's face it, we need people we can trust. We need people that are independent. And as lieutenant governor, we didn't really see much. He felt that wasn't challenging enough for him. But the baggage that he brings is that while he was mayor of San Francisco, he had an affair with his campaign manager's wife. So we call into question his judgment. We need governors we can trust. If they can bring Bill Cosby down, they can bring anyone down. Bad judgment. And in these days and time, in our city, because Bill's over there, but we have to take care of our house first. So that's the only reason, that's our primary reason for not recommending Gavin. The reason we're not recommending Antonio Villaraigosa is because he was the mayor of Los Angeles for 2 terms. Do you know Los Angeles crime rate has not deteriorated? I'm on the west side of LA on a regular basis visiting my dad. And from what I've seen throughout Los Angeles, that's not something to be proud of having been mayor. You go around Figueroa, in Century, around, it's absolutely horrendous. That's the only place I've seen that looks as worse as San Francisco. So I don't think that's a reference at all. Matter of fact, that's a deterrent. His baggage is, while he was mayor, he had an extramarital affair with a local television reporter. Again, we need people that we can trust. If people are letting the little head control the big head, then how can we expect them to operate in our best interests? Furthermore, we don't want people that don't have a good track record. We will not vote for them. So this is why we're here, so that you will know. An informed voter is a good voter, whomever one votes for. I hope that this information that we share with you will motivate you to find out for yourself. But just in case you didn't, you have our recommendations. I'd like to share with you the responsibilities of the lieutenant governor. who the current Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom felt that the position was inadequate and didn't have enough responsibilities. The responsibility of Lieutenant Governor is that the Lieutenant Governor chairs the Commission of Economic Development, which is responsible for fostering economic growth in California by developing and implementing strategies for attracting new business to the state, increasing state exports, creating new jobs, and stimulating business industries statewide. Now, that sounds like more than a full-time job to me. That sounds like more than 40 hours a week. Be very interested to find out exactly why that doesn't seem to be enough responsibility. But moving right along, I should say. And sometimes, let me just digress for a moment. But means behold the underlying truth. The underlying truth is that there is a candidate, Eleni Kounalakis, who is running for lieutenant governor, and that's who we're recommending. Why? Because she has experience in business development. President Obama nominated her to serve as a U.S. ambassador. So we certainly need someone in business that is diplomatic. We need someone in business that is economically savvy. We need someone in business that as lieutenant governor, who knows business. That's what I meant to say. We need a lieutenant governor that knows business. We need a lieutenant governor that is committed to developing business. We've read a lot. We've done our research on Eleni Kounalakis, and we strongly endorse her candidacy as the next lieutenant governor of San Francisco. I am not a gambling person, but we feel very safe to say she will show us what the power of the lieutenant governor's office. She will bring her experience under the Obama administration as a United Nations ambassador, as a businesswoman, to bear for the benefit of California. It's a new day, folks. If nothing changes, nothing changes. It's a new day, so we have to have a new way. For United States Senate, we are endorsing Kevin DeLeon. He took action on universal health care, pay equity, immigration and civil rights, minimum wage. He fought to get the minimum wage to $15, fought for debt-free higher education, because let's face it, without higher education, one can't even go in and have a conversation about increasing the quality of their lives. For example, they want I say this jokingly, but they want a receptionist to have a bachelor's degree. I say that to say, without education, folks, you set up an unnecessary challenge for yourself. So we need senators, we need elected officials who understand the importance of education. And also, we want our teachers paid more money. We've got to get on that, folks. Also, just wanted to say that our endorsed candidate, Kevin DeLeon, has been endorsed by the Service Employees Union, which is very good, the California Federation, AFL-CIO, but he struggled to match Feinstein's $10 million in cash on hand. It's time for Feinstein to retire. New day, we need a new way. Come on, folks. Come on, Diane. Show us that you are for our city. Pass the baton. People don't want to pass the baton. The baton must be passed, or how will our youngsters have a better future? So far, he's raised $1 million. So let's remember that. $1 million. But let's remember, we cannot let money rule anymore, because it's ruling everyone. Doesn't matter the color. Right on out of San Francisco. Right on out to the boondocks. We want to support the re-election of Alex Padilla for Secretary of State. He refused the Trump administration's request to access our voting rolls and records and protected Californians' privacy. He said no. And that's what we need. Secretary of State, they govern, look it up for yourself. But the fact that one of their primary responsibilities is protecting the integrity of information, voters' rights, and a lot of confidential information. But you can look that up for yourself. For the Attorney General, who also said no to the Trump administration's request for sensitive immigration information. He's an incumbent Attorney General, Xavier Becerra, we want to re-elect him as Attorney General. He succeeded Kamala Harris, who was elected to the U.S. Senate. Becerra served the remainder of Harris's term, which expires in January 2019. So, the reason we are endorsing Becerra, and he told the Trump administration, his statement is this, quote, "We in California allow the federal immigration officers to do what they must to enforce immigration law. But the federal government doesn't have the right to ask California or to tell California to do immigration enforcement for it." If I had a hat on, I'd say my hat's off. This is what we need, folks. We need people that are going to stand up for all of our citizens. And especially our immigrants. Who isn't an immigrant? But a Native American. We're not going to go there. We need people that are going to protect the rights of all of our citizens. For treasurer, we recommend and endorse Fiona Ma. She authored some groundbreaking legislation. She authored groundbreaking law to ban toxic chemicals, and they were contained in baby products statewide. Hers was the first law of this kind in the nation. So we want someone that thinks outside the box. And the fact that Fiona authored the legislation, which later on it was propelled through, and it became a model for a federal amendment. The insurance commissioner, we want Ricardo Lara. We endorse Ricardo Lara because he is an advocate for keeping California in control of our lives in future. He wants Californians to control California. And this is what our candidate for insurance commissioner, Ricardo Lara, said. He said, "Our nation is in a full-blown crisis mode right now. We have a man in the White House with no popular mandate who is methodically working to strip Americans of their health care, their economic security, and their civil liberties. I'm running to be California's next state commissioner because I believe at the core that California needs a strong defender and a counterpuncher who will stand up to fight our bullying President Donald Trump and his increasingly reckless federal government on issues from healthcare access to economic security and more. If millions of Californians began losing their health insurance because of actions taken by Donald Trump, I'll be there to fight him tooth and nail at every pass." We believe that. Insurance commissioner, very sharp young man, Ricardo Lara. New day, need a new way. Very quickly, let's talk about the propositions. I've scrubbed them, folks. I've read them, and so has our staff, and these are the recommendations for the California state propositions. For Proposition 68, yes, California invests in natural resources and disaster prevention, cleans up contaminated water, makes safe parks for children with clean water. There'll be annual audits to make sure that they are accountable. Proposition 69, we recommend yes, guarantees transportation taxes are only used for transportation, does not raise taxes. Proposition 70, we say no. States should continue to authorize spending with a majority vote. Okay, the state could continue to authorize spending with a majority vote. So, no on 70. On 71, we recommend no. Most state ballot measures would take effect the next day, not in 6 weeks. We vote no on 71 because if the public votes for a measure, we want it enacted because the majority should rule. That's a democratic process. So no on 71 so that our laws will take effect starting the next day. On 72, we recommend a vote of yes. Let's install a system to collect rainwater. Make sense? Let's install a system to collect rainwater. Folks, these are the recommendations of San Francisco Weekly News. We will air on for the month of May. because we want you to be as educated as possible. I truly hope that you're motivated to read for yourselves, to vote absentee. If you have not registered to vote, please do so before the second week of May, I believe it is, but that's your responsibility. That's your homework. If you've not registered to vote, please do that for yourself. And are we our brother's keepers? Yes, we are. Thank you. Let's rock that vote, y'all. San Francisco is changing. Let's be a part of the change that we seek. No more business as usual. No more status quo. The WB machine must be broken. The Willie Brown machine was great in my childhood, but it changed. And you know, I'm 65. So things that are broken need fixing. People deserve better. You deserve better. Your children deserve better. Your grandchildren deserve better. Your family deserves better. God bless you, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for joining us, San Francisco Weekly News. We air the first and third Mondays at 7:30 on Channel 29, and the second and fourth Thursdays at 6 o'clock on Channel 76. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you to the Bayview Hunters Point real estate professionals, and a special thanks to AAA Bayview Real Estate and Community Services, as well as Sean Richards and Brothers Against Guns.